Well, my name's Ken Mary. I'm the drummer with Flotsam Jetsam. We have a new album coming out. It's called I Am the Weapon. It's going to be released September 13th. And it's a new killer album. I feel like we've done, a great job on the last two albums. And I think this third one that I don't want to say anything, but it might be the best one yet. We'll find out.
Awesome. Well, I've had to listen to it in the lead up to this, mate, and she's pretty fucking good.
Good. I'm glad you enjoy it.
Yeah, really did, bro. Really did. So, as you say, Flotsam and Jetsam unleash your 15th studio album, "I Am the Weapon," on September 13th. I know you haven't been with the band the whole time, mate, but 15 albums is a lot of albums, and I guess there's an expectation on you guys to release quality material. Like, do you feel the pressure on an album release cycle like this? Mainly more the sort of fan pressure, I guess.
Well, honestly, we did. We feel the pressure pretty much on every record. I mean, I feel like the last four albums have been kind of a renaissance for Flotsam and Jetsam. And it's kind of like a new era, if you want to say that, like a new era for the band. And every time there's a new album, we're always wondering if we can top the last one. Because when we finished, the end of Chaos, we felt like, wow, how are we ever going to top this album? And then we came out with Blood in the Water. We kind of feel like we topped Chaos with Blood in the Water. And then we finished Blood in the Water. We're like, oh my gosh, how are we gonna top this record? So this time we definitely felt the pressure. I mean, we felt like, do we have enough gas in the tank to make something that's gonna, at least equal that? And so, we just started writing, and we wrote a ton of songs, and then we started eliminating songs and finishing songs. And by the time we were done, we were like, yeah, we think we at least equaled it, and hopefully we topped it. Like a lot of people we've talked to that have heard it said, yeah, you guys, I've had some people even, and they're talking about all the records and including the first two albums, state to me like, this is the best Flotsam album yet, like ever. And I was like, wow, that's pretty good when you hear that and you feel like it's so tough to compete with nostalgia. Like when somebody talks about the, first two albums that they grew up with, it's really hard to beat that. And for somebody to say that and be sincere and say, hey, this is the best Flotsam album ever, that's really quite a compliment.
It is indeed. So can you dive into the album a bit deeper musically for us and tell us what you were going for?
Sure. Well, to be honest with you, we were just going for great songs. We were really looking for songs that mean something to us and that move us in some way. And we've done that for, the last four records. I mean, really just trying to find music that we feel like if it excites us and it makes us want to play it and it makes us want to listen to it, then the chances are, hopefully there'd be a few million people that agree with us. so that's really, I mean, honestly, it's a very simple, people call it a formula or whatever. It's very simple. We try to make music that we're excited about and that we love. And then hopefully, like I said, there's a few million people that agree with us.
So to date, you've released the singles Primal and the title track "I Am the Weapon." So would you say overall they're a good sonic representation of what to expect?
I'd say yes and no. I mean, I think we have, it's a fairly good variety on the record. I feel like we didn't really stick to any specific thing. I feel like, again, we just tried to write things that moved us. And so I'm not really sure that, when you say, is it representative of the rest of the record? I'd say, yeah. I mean, they're all pretty aggressive Flotsam songs. I mean, the way I like to describe Flotsam records is this. It's like if you had five guys in five cars that were really fast, and you put the checkered flag down, and you got all five guys, like the guitar players, the drummer, the bass player, the singer, everybody's going full out with the pedal all the way down for the whole record. And that's pretty much what this record is. I mean, it's pretty much just all out, give it the gas all out for the whole record. So in that respect, I would say the first two songs are representative. And then we also have some other sections too. We have some things that we got maybe a little bit more progressive on this record. I think we tried to maybe, I'm not going to say show off because we always show off, but I think we tried to have some fun with it. We tried to have, like do what we want to do, and not really worry too much about what's gonna, what the results are gonna be. We really tried to just do stuff that we were happy with, and then hopefully everybody enjoys it.
So, like, before each album cycle, like, do you sit down as a band and discuss which way you want it to head or something, or does it just flow in this, like, in the writing process, and what comes out comes out?
Well, it's a little more like the second part, like where you said, you just start writing and then what comes out comes out. I mean, it's a little bit more like that. We don't really have a set mindset. We don't have a set. The one thing I will say is there's a lot of chemistry in this band. The way this band sits now, writing records and making records that we really feel strongly about has been a very generally easy process, and it's not, like, doesn't necessarily have to be that way. We've all worked on records that weren't easy, and I would say by and large, I think because we trust each other, I think because we really accept what each other brings to the table in terms of musically and writing and playing wise. I think everybody I think it's a fairly easy process. Things seem to go fairly easy for us, if that makes any sense.
Perfectly. Now, the opening track, "A New Kind of Hero," throws a bit of a curveball to start with, mate. Like, it's got a bit of an expansive intro that suggests, like, a venture into unfamiliar territory. Then it sort of pauses momentarily and just comes back with a bang. Like, was that designed to sort of throw people off or confuse people a bit?
It's really not. I mean, it's yeah, we weren't trying to confuse people or make a statement or anything like that. We were just trying to make a song that we felt was exciting and moving and that people enjoyed. And that song in particular, which is going to be released as a single, that's going to be coming out, I believe, in August. But that song in particular, a lot of people are super excited about. And honestly, we listen to it, we go, yeah, it's great. We're not sure why this is better than some of these other songs. Like we can't really tell you. Like sometimes we're not the greatest judge of that because we love all of them. We love all the songs, and then somebody goes, "Oh, well, I really love this one," and you're like, "Okay, that's fine. That's great that you love it. We love it too. But they're like, "Oh, we had one of the guys that works with us and has worked with us for years on some graphics and some other things, helps us out a lot, and he's like, this is the greatest Flotsam song ever," and we're like, okay, very happy you love it. That's really awesome. So, it's always great when you connect with people and they feel something and the song is moving to them. But as far as setting out to do something intentional on the beginning of the song or fool people or anything like that, no. I mean, we're just trying to do what we're feeling, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So this is your third album with the band, mate. So how are you settling in? Is it getting better with each album, or?
I think it is. I mean, again, we were concerned about, trying to top Blood in the Water because we really felt like Blood in the Water was amazing album. And, we feel like this is also another amazing record that we really feel strong about. As far as settling in, I really felt pretty settled, almost immediately. I mean, I've known Steve Conley for years. We've worked on tons of projects. I've certainly been a fan of the band for a number of years, and I worked with the band. They recorded a lot of that self-titled album in my recording studio. That's how I actually kind of was introduced to the new Flotsam and Jetsam, so to speak. We recorded a lot of that in my studio. When I was listening, I was like, man, AK's just killing it. Like, I think he sounds better than he ever has, So, that was something that really drew me to the band, listening to him singing, I'm just going, this guy's one of the greatest metal singers ever, So when Bittner left, And Steve Conley said, "Hey, do you want to go do a European tour with us and kind of sit in?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's see how this goes." And that was 7 years ago. So
It went all right then.
so here we go. I guess it went fairly well.
So you mentioned before, like each album you've put out to try and top the previous one, of course, but there's also like an expansion and an extension, I guess, from one album to the other. So along those lines, how much musical growth do you think Flotsam and Jetsam have got left in them?
Well, that's a good question. I don't really know the answer to that. And the reason I don't know, I mean, I know that we have probably half the songs written for the next record, and they're great. I mean, there are songs we could have put on this record with no problem. And we had a whole bunch of other songs that we discarded that we didn't feel were strong enough for this album. So it's always a scary thing because you don't really know until you start the process and you start writing and you start seeing what's coming out. But I kind of feel like with this group of guys, I think we could have a lot left in the tank. I mean, I think it seems like every album we get stronger and stronger. And at the end of every album, we're like, oh man, I don't know if we can do this again. And then we do it again. So there might be tons of gas left in the tank. I think for whatever reason, this chemistry seems to really work.
Very cool. And how about touring plans, mate? Have you got anything lined up to promote the album?
We do. We're going to Europe twice this summer. We've got some festivals, including Wacken and Dynamo and Grass Pop. We're playing main stage at Grass Pop, which is kind of a big deal. So we're doing a lot of the festivals. We just got back from Brazil and Mexico and a U.S. tour, and did I think 1 or 2 dates in Canada. And so yeah, we're definitely looking forward to getting out and promoting it as much as we can.
Fantastic. All right, Ken. Well, thanks very much for your time today, mate. The new album, I Am the Weapon, is out September 13th, and I've had a listen to it, and she's an absolute fucking cracker, mate. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate hearing that. And thank you so much for having me on the show.